To BOGO Biology. This is 5-Minute Bio, where we discuss a key concept in 5 minutes or less. Today's topic is homeostasis.
What is homeostasis? To be brief and to the point, homeostasis is the relatively constant state maintained by the body. Mainly this means that over time, the internal body will maintain a stable environment. So, for example, if the external temperature is cold or hot, the internal body temperature will remain relatively constant at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. The internal body temperature may vary a little above or below this number, but that will still be considered normal. So let's say we took someone's body temperature over a certain period of time. If we plot that on a chart, it may look something like this. Here, body temperature rose slightly, and here it fell a little. But the normal body temperature range is from 97.7 to 99.5 degrees. So our subject was inside the normal range throughout that time span. Homeostasis doesn't just apply to body temperature, but many other conditions as well.
The individuals maintain a temperature around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If it is hot outside, your body cools itself, and if it's cold outside, it will still maintain this temperature. If it's not able to maintain this internal temperature of 98.6, or roughly thereabouts, bad things can happen. A healthy blood pressure is another example. Your body likes to maintain a blood pressure in a certain range. Your heart, brain, circulatory system, and endocrine system are all working together to maintain a healthy blood pressure. Maintaining the correct balance of water is vital for your body. Your kidneys constantly monitor your water balance and makes adjustments in order to keep the levels of water in the correct balance. Oxygen levels are also very important. Your brain, lungs, and circulatory system monitor and maintain correct oxygen levels and make adjustments when needed. One of the first things you may notice when oxygen levels are low is that you will increase your breathing rate. As oxygen levels increase, your breathing rate will slow. Plants also maintain homeostasis. A plant will use stomata on their leaves to maintain proper water levels, thus ensuring optimum conditions for photosynthesis.
You can think of other examples of homeostasis and also think about the consequences of deviating from a set point for too long. Hopefully you figured out that prolonged deviation from an ideal set of conditions can cause both cell, tissue, and organism death. Maintaining homeostasis often requires that an organism have an internal environment that is different from its external environment. Barriers between internal and external environments allow the organism to maintain an internal environment despite what's going on in the external environment. A great example of this is the cell membrane. Organisms, including humans, use something called a feedback loop to help maintain homeostasis. Feedback loops are broken into 3 parts: the stimulus, the sensor, and the response. Let's start with this loop over here on the left. Imagine that it's a very hot day and the individual's body temperature is rising. The rising temperature is the stimulus. The stimulus is then detected by the sensor located within the individual's brain. In humans, a temperature change would be detected by the hypothalamus, but obviously Homer Simpson's brain is a little bit different. Because high temperatures can cause cell death, the body then goes into action to bring its core temperature down. Blood vessels will dilate, allowing heat to radiate outwards, and the person will also begin to sweat in order to decrease their body temperature via evaporative cooling. Hopefully the effect of these steps will be enough to bring the person's overall body temperature back down to normal. This phenomenon is called a negative feedback loop, not because it's bad, but because it helps to make the situation less extreme. See if you can figure out what would happen on the right-hand side of the loop when the temperature got too cold rather than too hot. Ideally, if your body temperature gets too cold, you begin to shiver after detecting the decreased temperature in your hypothalamus. The shivering generates heat, which should bring your body temperature back up. Positive feedbacks are pretty rare in nature because they tend to make a situation more extreme. However, we do have 2 examples here: the clotting of blood and the increase in uterine contractions during labor. Both passive and active transport can be used to help maintain homeostasis. In passive transport, such as osmosis and diffusion, particles flow from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration and can very effectively fill a space. If deviation from a set point has been detected, ATP can be spent in order to pump particles against the concentration gradient and restore homeostasis. A few key concepts to remember. First, homeostasis is a desirable state of equilibrium. Generally, maintaining homeostasis in biology also means maintaining ideal survival conditions. Most organisms use negative feedback loops to maintain this state of homeostasis. Finally, we also use passive and active transport in order to maintain this desirable state of equilibrium.
And Moo Moo Math uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share.